Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the Earth's interior. The outside of the Earth we can see the nature, which is we all, the plant and animal life, live in the atmosphere. But under the Earth there are also some layers which are known as altogether known as the internal composition of the Earth. At the center, if you think it is a ball, at the center there is core, and above that layer there is mantle, and the third layer, which is known as crust or lithosphere, on which we all biotic communities live on. Now the core is the most inaccessible part. The core is the densest, solid and inaccessible part. It is divided into inner and outer core. The entire core is about 7,000 kilometer in diameter, and here the temperature is 4400 to 6000, that means 4400 degrees centigrade to 6000 degrees centigrade. Now, it is generally believed that the core is composed of iron and nickel, which is responsible for the Earth's magnetism, the gravitational pull. The solid state of the inner core, due to its high density and pressure, which have compressed the molten rock material. Thus, the ace waves of the earthquake disappears in the outer core, which suggests that it is in the molten state. So the outer core is in the molten state, and the inner core is in the solid state. Now the second layer, which is known as mantle, this layer, the thickness average 2900 kilometer, and it makes the 85% of the Earth's total volume. The mantle is divided into two parts, also the upper and lower mantle. The upper mantle extends from the Mohorovivic discontinuity. Now, what is this Mohorovivic discontinuity? The Mohorovivic discontinuity is the line between the crust and the mantle, which divides the two-layer crust and the mantle. And from there, from the Mohorovivic discontinuity to the depth of 700 km, it is cooler than the core and made of solid rocks. The lower mantle extends from 700 to 2900 km. The lower mantle is hotter and denser than the upper mantle because the core is more denser after that. Now, the depth around 100 to 410 km, the mantle is partially molten, which is known as asthenosphere. The lower mantle is solid due to high pressure. So as far as go you into the central part, it will become more solid. As the pressure increases towards the interior of the earth, the density also increases. Yeah, the temperature varies between 1000 centigrade to 3700 centigrade. Now there is another boundary which is known as Gutenberg discontinuity. The boundary between the mantle and the core is known as the Gutenberg discontinuity. So from the lithosphere or the crust and the mantle, the discontinuity is Mohorovivic, and from the mantle to the core, the border or discontinuity is known as the Gutenberg discontinuity. Now it is coming to the lithosphere, the outer crust, where we used to live. The crust is called lithosphere because it is made up of solid rocks or lithos. Crust only contribute on 1% to the Earth's masses, and crust is relatively thin. if you calculate its height from the mountain top to the ground, it will be 60 kilometer. And if you minus the mountain portion and you calculate only the sea floor, water will not come into the consideration of lithosphere. So if you minus the water portion, only consider the sea floor to the mantle, then it will be 5 to 10 kilometer thin only under the oceans. The temperature of the upper part of the oceanic crust has been estimated 0 degree. That means under the sea it is 0 degree. But gradually start increasing when you are coming to the uh, top layer of the soil where we are living, because we all experience the atmospheric temperature. Now the weight and pressure of the rocks also starts increasing with depth. The lithosphere, which is the outermost crust, that is divided into Sial and Sima. Sial refers to the silica and aluminium, and the inner one made up of Sima, which is refers to the silica and magnesium. Likewise, the core is also known as Nephe, that refers to the nickel and ferrous, means iron.